He says that Drew McIntyre is good, but he's not as good as him, pretty much. So there you go. Drew McIntyre is good, but not as good as Randy Orton. Um,
But if Drew McIntyre wasn't good and Randy Orton was just really bad,
yeah, no, yeah, then that's not good. So then we had Drew McIntyre versus Randy Orton, and this was a um, pretty good match. Um, it gets thrown out because the OC went out and attack him, and Randy Orton, makes the save with the steel chair, and Styles takes off, but Gallows and Anderson get hit with McIntyre and Orton's finish. Afterwards, Orton and McIntyre have this face off, and someone's getting laid out, and Randy Orton hits the RKO out of nowhere, and afterwards McIntyre says that he got me, but he says at the Royal Rumble he's gonna do whatever it takes to win the thing, and he's gonna hit a Claymore kick on Randy Orton. Definitely see it coming. Um, yeah, this was fine. Um, what I wasn't a fan of is I feel like this should have been the OC's time to shine because I feel like you needed to build up the OC as like a threat because you really haven't done that with the OC really. Um, but I thought the stuff with Orton and Drew McIntyre was fine. What did you think of this?
um, it was okay. I can't. I mean, it's just like it's more story building for both
Yeah.
of them, if anything.
Then we have Charlotte Flair get interviewed, and it makes you question even more what if she's a face or a heel because she's out there saying that she's gonna win the Royal Rumble, and she said that she should have won it last year, but my spotlight got stolen, and then Becky Lynch is like right next to her.
That was weird as hell.
Yeah, this was a weird segment, and I don't feel like we're never gonna find out whether or not Charlotte Flair is supposed to be a face or a heel because I think it changes week to week. What do you think of this?
It was just weird that she was there,
Yeah,
creeping.
very weird.
Should call her creepy Becky. She was just creeping.
Yep. So then, speaking of creeping, we had Becky Lynch versus Kyrie Sane with Asuka inside. Becky Lynch comes out and basically talks about how um, Asuka's woken her up because she started to get complacent, but she realizes that Asuka's just as desperate to beat Becky Lynch because even though you beat me all these times, you basically then I've basically taken your spot, which is pretty damn true. Um, then they actually come out. I guess this is the first time I've heard Kyrie Sane's new theme song. Apparently, she's had this for a while. Um, and yeah, they have a very good back and forth match. Eventually, in the match, Asuka's just standing under the turnbuckles, which I guess is not. I mean, technically, it's not illegal because she didn't interfere in the match. Then Becky Lynch knocks her down and makes Kyrie Sane tap out to disarm her. And then Asuka attacks her. She hits the Shining Wizard on her and puts her into the Asuka lock. And yeah, I liked it all. I thought it made Asuka come off very strong as a challenger and Becky Lynch come off strong as a champion. What do you think of this?
Made them both look very strong going into their match at the Royal Rumble, which is desperately needed because Becky's looked really stale recently.
Yep.
But it's a good direction they're going in.
I kind of hope they do a thing because I hear like they're doing a storyline now where Asuka's not going to resign her contract. Even though it might not be a storyline because we thought Dean Ambrose was a storyline and it wasn't. So never say never. I feel like they should have that Asuka win because then it would get everyone really questioning if Becky's really resigned.
I mean, they really could do that.
Because now you have not. It would be kind of funny though if it wasn't a storyline again, and she just left the company and went to AEW because AEW needs a Becky Lynch right now. For the women's division alone. So, but then again, Becky Lynch really has no one to wrestle there. So,
I know, yeah, she'd be the fucking the top superstar with no one to fight.
Yeah. So she'd be a big fish in a small pond. So, anyhow, though, or they could just, I would like Asuka to win too, because that could be like, a nice story you could tell in the WrestleMania where that's like the one opponent that Becky Lynch can't beat, and then she just finally does it at WrestleMania, which would be cool. Because if Shayna doesn't get called up, and if Ronda Rousey doesn't come back, who does Becky face at WrestleMania? So
yeah, that's a good question.
I mean, because I can't call them call-ups anymore, but you know what I mean. So, then the Kabuki Warriors get interviewed, and they just say a ton of stuff in Japanese that I don't know what they're saying. So if you speak Japanese, let me know. But it was quite good. Then we had the WAD Tag Team Championship match. WAD Tag Team Champions, the Viking Raiders versus Seth Rollins and Buddy Murphy with AOP ringside. And the Viking Raiders had Samoa Joe and Kevin Owens ringside. This match was very good. This should have closed the show, especially with what did close the show. Eventually the match spills into chaos, and Owens and AOP just brawl backstage. I was very worried that when the match started spilling into chaos, they were just going to do the traditional thing where they turn it into an 8-man tag, but that didn't happen, so I was happy about that. They just have a very good back and forth tag team match. Eventually, Seth Rollins hits the stomp onto Eric onto the apron, and behind the referee's back, Buddy Murphy pins Eric and wins the tag titles. And Seth Rollins and Buddy Murphy are the Raw Tag Team Champions, which I think could be a very good direction for the Raw Tag Team Championships. I think it should have been AOP that won the titles, but I think with Rollins and Buddy Murphy winning the titles, it's a good track to get Buddy Murphy going on the main roster. And also, since the company really likes Seth Rollins and stuff like that, they would actually probably do something with the Tag Team Championships. So I think we're going to get like a kick-ass tag title match with them versus Samoa Joe and Kevin Owens. I think that's going to be awesome.
Yeah, it's going to be great.
What did you think of this?
I liked it. It's very. I mean, the Viking Raiders did nothing with the tag titles, so maybe this will be like kind of they'll push the titles more with Seth again, I guess.
I mean, the big problem though is there's really no teams for them really to wrestle other than the Street Profits and the Viking Raiders. So, and AOP, but they're aligned with them. So, just having which is they just really got to get those tag division going, and then pretty much from this point the show just like kind of falls off a cliff. So then we had the weekend after Monday update with the Street Profits. It was really not that good and really not that funny at all. The Street Profits are really good and funny, but even they couldn't make this work. They were just basically saying just a bunch of news stories that was complete bullshit. I just think the Street Profits just need to move past this. The R-Truth bit was kind of funny, where like he went to say stuff like about the Royal Rumble, but instead he was just saying stuff about Texas. But this really just did the Street Profits just no favors. Like they need to set. I thought we were past this stuff. Like we need to get the Street Profits in there wrestling for tag titles and stuff. What did you think of this?
I actually thought it was funny. I'm a sucker for these things. I think they're fucking hilarious. The one thing that really got me was when they did the fucking Val Venus theme song and Otis dancing. That was fucking hilarious. I thought it was pretty funny.
So there you
go. I'm probably
go.
the only one, but I thought it was funny.
Then we have the segment that if you didn't think Matt Hardy was leaving before this Raw, then it's definitely true after this match right here. It's Matt Hardy versus Eric Rowan, and the second you saw Eric Rowan, I don't think Matt Hardy really got a lick. I don't think he got a lick of offense in really. The only notable thing really to come out of this was the Thin bit Rowan again, and he takes the cage and like slams it onto the steps, and again, you're kind of burying the Thin that's in there because he's getting bit and he's not selling that he's been bit really. Like he bleeds, but he uses the hand that gets bit and hits the Iron Claw chokeslam. It's like, what's in there can't be too impressive if he's still able to hit his moves. And he still beat Matt Hardy even though he got bit. So it's like, what's going on here? I could complain about how it's a bad utilization of Matt Hardy, but I kind of want Matt Hardy in the Dark Order, so I really don't care. So I think Matt Hardy in the Dark Order could be great. Speaking of which, I know this is unrelated, but to hear that they actually have like a legitimate Dark Order website,
It do that's awesome.
And you could actually like put in like you could actually join. You could put like your information in, and you could put like why you're losing in life and stuff like that. Can you just imagine the trolls were getting in there and stuff like that? Like,
Great. It's great shit. It's
what
good
did you
shit,
think?
pal.
What did you think of the Matt Hardy and Eric Rowan match?
Eh,
I mean, I think you want.
puts over the gimmick.
I think you just want Matt Hardy to go to AEW too, so you don't really care if he gets buried or not. So,
I mean, it's they're trying to get Eric Rowan over.
I don't think they're doing a good job because, like I said, whoever's biting him clearly can't be impressive if he's still hitting the Iron Claw chokeslam with
To the point, like, it pisses him off, and it sends them into a rage.
Who's going to take their time out of their day to say, "Hey, what's in there?" And like the only way this can work is like it has to fall over, and you know,
Human penis.
I feel like you're in there. Are you in there?
I'm in there. It's me.
Why you biting Eric Rowan,
I
man?
don't like him.
Why is he because he messed with your boy? Is that why you like Mojo Rawley? Because he's pretty scared of you. So
Yeah. Me fucking with my boy. My
We
boy
also found-
Jomo.
So we also found out throughout this show that Seth Rollins is going to be in the Royal Rumble match, and also Kevin Owens and Samoa Joe. I'm assuming also that qualifies is Buddy Murphy and AOP. I don't think he specifically said them, but I'm assuming they're going to be in it. Well, Buddy Murphy was already confirmed before he even joined that group, but I'm assuming AOP is going to be in it. Then Mojo, your boy, you want to talk about this? Your boy Mojo Rawley. Talk about this. He's your boy.
He's greatness personified.
Talk about what he did on this show.
I don't even fucking remember.
Why? Because he was so like just enthused with Mojo Rawley, you just zoned out or something. Like
Yeah.
I
was excited and I passed out.
So
Couldn't believe it.
he gets interviewed and he talks about
he figures it out?
Huh?
Did he figure it out?
Figure what out?
Was he screaming into a mirror?
He doesn't do that anymore. He doesn't even have the blue paint on him anymore. So
figure it out.
Apparently he has, because he says he's not going to be like every other 24/7 champion that runs away. He's going to welcome the challengers. And the Sin Brothers pop up. One of them tries to roll up Mojo Rawley to win the title, but since Mojo Rawley's too big, the Sin Brother can't roll him up, so he just beats the crap out of him. So this could be interesting. The only thing I don't want is the title to go back on R-Truth, because it's getting stale at this point. You need to do something new with this championship.
Keep it on him.
I mean, you love Mojo, so
I want Mojo to be the longest reigning 24/7 champion in history. I want him to hold it for 4 million days.
Let's take a look what the longest 24/7 championship reign is in history. So the longest 24/7 championship reign.
It's probably Truth at some point.
So it's R-Truth at 20 days.
Ooh-wee!
He's just got to get past 20 days.
Mojo's gonna do that, baby.
Let's see what he's on now. Let's see what he's on now. He's held the title for. So do you want the record recognized by that's actually exists or by WWE? Probably WWE, right? Because
yeah.
So he's held the title for 4 days.
All right.
Wait, that doesn't sound
right.
Wait, I think he lost. I think he's lost. So I'm gonna tell you something. He's actually won it and lost it recently at live events.
Yeah, he did. It was a sham.
It even says WWE currently does not recognize this reign. But I'm assuming. But it just happened. What's today's date?
The 23rd.
So this happened on the 19th. So what's going on here? You can't just not recognize Reigns, like.
They do recognize Reigns, Roman Reigns.
Right. So that's weird. I don't know what's going on there. I just think at this point they just need to get rid of this title because I don't even think they really care about it at this point. But that's besides the point. Then we had the main event. It's Bobby Lashley and Lana versus Liv Morgan and Rusev. Obviously, you know what I'm going to say about this, but there's a new problem that's now surfacing in this storyline that we got to talk about. And that's Rusev is just looking like a chump in this storyline. Let's take a look at what's happened to Rusev. So Lana's cheated on him with Bobby Lashley, and he's looked like a fool. I'm just going based off what you've told me. He's been beaten down every week. He lost the tables match to Bobby Lashley at TLC. He lost last week to Bobby Lashley, and then this week he lost this match. He took the fall too. So it's kind of like, you know the storyline's going to continue, but at this point, why should it? Rusev looked like a fool, and he's clearly lost this feud. Like, even if Rusev comes and wins the blow-off match, what does anyone even gain in this feud? Like, everyone comes out looking bad. Obviously, Lana comes out looking bad because she just looks like the biggest slut in the history of the planet. We have Bobby Lashley who looks bad because he's just being used to make Rusev jealous. And obviously, I feel like Rusev comes off looking the worst, because he's been beaten down. I just love it, too, because Vince said he wanted to do this storyline to get Rusev over. I'm kind of like, Vince, he was already over. You killed his steam originally when he was over.
He's like,
it seems like they went the Liv Morgan route where she said that she was in a relationship with Lana, and they've kind of forgotten about it. You notice they only talk about it now. It's just kind of there.
Yeah, they don't bring up the relationship angle anymore.
So I feel like they would.
I think they would deal with a lot of mixed reaction.
Yeah.
So they didn't. They just kind of move along and pretend like that didn't happen.
Seems like it. Yeah, I just was not. Plus, this. I know if you like this match should not have been the main event of the show. It should have been the tag team.
No, God, no.
This should have been the tag team title match. This match was awful. I mean, what do you want me to say about it? Like, I didn't like it. So what did you think of this match?
Wrong people won.
Yep.
You're just getting this group together, and yeah, you fucking squash them.
Yeah.
Why? Is the real question.
I mean, the question I have too. Let's go by it. So the storyline's getting views and stuff like that. No one's gonna care about it if Rusev keeps losing.
Exactly.
So, you ever notice they're not doing those type of off-the-wall segments now? By the way, now that it's getting the views, it's like they don't. Vince is afraid of views. He's afraid of good ratings. He's scared of them. He's like anytime something gets viewed, he's like, nah. It's getting viewed for not the reasons he wants them to get viewed. So he's just being weird. So that was Raw. I thought Raw was a roller coaster of an episode. Some really good stuff, and then some really questionable stuff, and then some really bad stuff. It definitely, for me, fell off a cliff after that Raw. That's what I'm saying, too. That Raw tag title match should have been end of the show, because that's when the show just fell off a cliff for me at that point. So I want to be generous and give it a C-, a 74 out of 100. It probably would have been like a, because basically everything this is why Raw needs to go back to 2 hours, honestly, because they just throw. At the end, they just throw stuff at the wall and hope it sticks. You ever notice too that Eric Rowan stuff is always at the 3rd hour of Raw? So
he putting the great content on last.
You love it. I mean, your boy Mojo was in the 3rd hour of Raw.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. So we have to see. I mean, your boy Mojo is going to affect this Raw grade. So what are you going to grade Raw?
S.
Just for Mojo Rawley.
Just for Mojo, it's a C+.
And then we got to talk about the backstage segment with CM Punk on it. That was awesome. They did an interview with Becky Lynch. Everyone was expecting like something big was going to happen with, you know, him and Becky Lynch because of the Twitter feud between him and Seth Rollins, but really nothing happened. They just kind of were cool about it. I feel like maybe they didn't do anything, maybe because they were thinking people were going to do something about it, but one funny thing is Paige and CM Punk were trolling everybody because everyone thinks they're going to be in the Royal Rumble matches. So they just keep saying, I'm going to be in the Royal Rumble match. So that was funny. CM Punk was being funny. You know, he mentioned Seth and Buddy winning the tag title. And he was like, well, it really doesn't matter because, you know, the old dude doesn't care about tag teams. He's like, and then he comes up and he's like, I got this great idea. Why don't we just throw people who don't get along and make them a tag team? It was pretty damn funny. And then he was asked to give predictions for the Royal Rumble, and he said that he went to give predictions for the Women's Royal Rumble, and he was like, I don't really know who's in it. They didn't really no one told me who was in it ahead of time. Because if you go, I feel like he actually legit didn't know, but if you think about it, like, there's really like no one announced for the Royal Rumble match. So when it comes to the woman anyways, he actually predicted Keith Lee to win the Royal Rumble. So you know, let's see if that happens. They did Royal Rumble retrospective, and they you know, they had Triple H and Mick Foley talk about their match in 2000, and they had each person talk about like what their famous matches were. CM Punk talked about his match with John Cena on Raw in 2013. He really likes that match. He actually said he had the flu that day, and that's why you know, he was surprised how great that match turned out. Then you know, Paige talked about her match with AJ Lee at SummerSlam, and I forget what Christian said his match was because I just don't remember. And it was just funny stuff. Then they did a tribute to Rocky Johnson. So there you go. And the only thing really noteworthy of the bump is Kofi Kingston and Big E announced their entrance in the Royal Rumble, and Natalya announced her entrance into the Royal Rumble. So they did top rope topics, and each person had to say their favorite moment in the Royal Rumble. And I don't really know what's going on there because I don't know how long they've been watching wrestling for, but it was all stuff like from early years, like 2017 when Nia Jax went into the men's Royal Rumble.
26 so forgettable now.
Yeah, I know, especially too. I just sometimes question if they're allowed to watch anything else besides you know, WWE because I forget about it because I've been watching like all this other stuff like AEW and everything. So there you go. And then that's it. But Chris, we're not going to do any plugs because we have to come back. Are you busy Saturday? I forgot to ask before we even recorded this.
No.
Because we have to come back Saturday afternoon and review SmackDown from this week and give predictions for the Royal Rumble.
Ooh.
Yeah, I know. Are you scared?
Yeah.
So this is not we're not done here. So yeah, don't you dare do your plugs, and you're not plugging anything. So
I don't plug anything anyway.
Yeah, we're just gonna leave, and you're just gonna run away. But don't run away yet. I gotta hit stop recording. So we're gonna time travel though first to future Owen and future Chris reviewing SmackDown and giving our predictions for the Royal Rumble.
Owen made my job easier and decided that he's gonna do his predictions and SmackDown review in a separate video with Chris. So this is the end of the episode. Sorry if you got blue-balled. I don't think you care about SmackDown Live anyway. So I know I sure don't. Yeah. Bye.
Take that work week off, 5 days in the bucket. Fuck it, you got a boss who's a jerk who doesn't. Throw on some Wu-Tang, bring the motherfucking ruckus. There is no pretext. We are living and we love it on a budget. Never mind, we just nudge it to the side. Give the kids a little time. We are living till we die. Focused and we hustle, but we still be getting high. No exception to the rule. Do what you do to get by. Cause I keep ticking like a metronome, and my thoughts keep telling me to get me home, but my balls keep